Hey, what is going on, guys? SpartanNJones here, and today I'll be doing something a little bit different, which I have been teasing for a couple of weeks now, about something different coming to the channel, and I started doing this, I think it was 2 years ago, at nearly the exact point, where E3 was coming out, and I decided to do my thoughts on this kind of stuff. Instead, I'm going to do a type of Gamecast, but for the first, 2, maybe 3 weeks, I'm going to do it solo, and then after the 2 or 3 weeks have gone, I'm going to have different YouTubers join me. This could be different YouTubers, or it could be mates of mine, just to discuss gaming content and gaming topics, or maybe general topics for throughout YouTube and our thoughts on this type of stuff. And as well, I will have your guys' opinions in the videos, maybe for next week as well. I'll have a question in here, which you guys can put your answer to in the comment section below, and then I will add it to next week's video at some point, probably right at the start or right at the end of the video. It depends on that one. But for today's Gamescast, we will be talking about the improvements to The Division, because The Division came out last week. I grinded it out quite fast, and I've already played 3 days of it in a week and a bit, I would say. Well, it's been nearly 2 weeks now. And I've grinded it out. I've played it for 3 days. I've gotten to max level, to normal. In the Dark Zone, I'm only level 25 just because of the rogues, trying to get those. And I'm only one achievement off getting it 100%. But I feel like it goes a little bit dry for the open world expansion, and there's some bits that could have been implemented into the game which should have been put in right at the start. Maybe it might all come in the future, but maybe right at the start it would have been a little bit better if they added these type of things. So to start off with, we will go on to social kind of things, and then we'll go on to the crafting kind of things, and then we'll go for the end content. So for the start, we're going to go on for social, which I would say that they should have implemented a kind of clan support system. Not like a clan where you face off against other enemies. It might work out, but not like that. Maybe like a social kind of clan, where it's more like where a clan member comes online and it notifies you that a clan member's come online. Would you like to join them, or would you like them to join you, or something like that? If you want to, I don't know, go to a base together or do a mission together, you could do that, and it's a simpler way of selecting clan members only, friends only, or a large variety of people. It's more better for matchmaking, and it just kind of defines it and makes it a little bit more sociable. You'll be able to join clan members. You'll be able to make a huge community for your own, instead of just having, hey, I've got these 3 mates and that's it. Really, that's all I play with. But then you could expand and have a different clan thing. You find players which are kind of more diverse to you, and they play better with you, and then you could kind of be more sociable, really. That's the first one. And then the second one, it ties in with the crafting as well as that. So past games that have come out is more like Warframe, where you'll be able to make a clan. Most of these statements are kind of more like Warframey type things. I would have thought that they would have implemented some things from previous games that have come out and then added it to this and made it a little bit better, tweak it a little bit more, and make it a little bit better. So for this one, this comes from Warframe itself, and this is more like a joint operations base, really. A base of operations joint with your clan, really, where you can upgrade your base to whatever the hell you like. Where in Warframe you have a dojo, which is a giant space station where you're allowed to add stuff to it which you want. You can add in reactors, which allow you to make more little sectors, and then you can have training rooms, and then you can have upgrade rooms, and then you could have research facilities, which would have been better for the Division itself. The research facilities I would come into later, in the crafting stuff. I'll come into that later. But really, I would rather have that, because it feels a little bit lonely, and it feels a little bit easy to get your base really fast. All you have to do is just complete all the main missions, and then complete I think it's 8 sectors of the encounters, and then you're done. You can upgrade your base fully, which that isn't that much, really. The encounters are not that great in getting you a lot of XP, well, not really XP, like getting you far through the game. Like, they don't reward that much, but encounters should have been more of like this encounter. You have like daily encounters, like you have 4 daily encounters every single day, and then those add to other stuff. Then they can drop rarer stuff, and then like as soon as you're level 30, they drop more stuff, and then all that kind of stuff, and it just upgrades you. And it's just the encounters that they added to this doesn't really affect me really, especially the base of operation where you don't have to complete the last mission on the security wing. I've found out, because at the end of the game you're left with 260 for tech and medical, for your supplies, so that's a few of the encounters, the waste of space. And then you've got 500 security points left, which is a main mission, where it shouldn't be that. It should have been more defined, where they could have something in the future that might come out where you'll be able to use these left supplies, but I highly doubt that, probably, because your base is quite full, unless they add in like an upgrading system, but maybe not. But yeah, this is like the next section of this, is the upgrading system towards your base and different parts around your base and all that type of stuff. So in Warframe you can actually make the bases, but they take a lot of like materials and stuff like that. You need I think it's like a former key. I think I remember. I haven't played Warframe in a bit of time, but I just remember this type of stuff. And Dojo is more of like it's a place of where you could actually do stuff, and then your friends can actually work together with you to make these little parts of your base and stuff like that, which would have been better, because that means you could work as a team to do all these like encounters, and then they give you materials, and then you get like upgrades for your base, and then they have like different level upgrades. So that means especially for like the crafting stuff, you could, instead of just having the crafting and then you have blueprints, you could research blueprints, and then you still have the crafting menus, but instead of like you just buy blueprints instead. You could research the blueprints as well as buy the blueprints. But researching the blueprints take a little bit longer. They take like maybe 2 days to research itself. And then the crafting takes like, I don't know, a couple of hours just to make that thing, which would have been a little bit better. Which I would say that if they took that one from Warframe itself, would have made it so much better as a game, really. Just because of like the upgrading system, it's not really complex. I wouldn't say. The upgrading system for your base itself, all you have to do is just complete the missions and complete the encounters, and then you can upgrade your base. And that's it, really. Fair enough for the main missions. If like the main missions, like you had the first two, because you already unlocked the first skill, then you have the first two upgrades for your base, which unlock the next two skills. And then you have the signature skill, which would have been better if you upgrade in the entire base, then you get the signature skill. You don't just upgrade your signature skill like by just giving like 1,000 points, which you could just save up on all these points and then not care about any of the perks or anything like that. But then perks, fair enough for those. You can just add them, and then talents is the same. Again, you could just add them to the upgrade tree, but for the signature skill itself for each and every wing, it should have been more of like a mastery thing. As soon as you upgrade everything throughout your skills and everything like that, it unlocks the signature skill, especially for the different mods where you could have like a different upgradable area instead. So you have one, let's just say for the tech wing itself, where you have the turret, you have the sticky bomb, and then you have the seeker mines. So you have 3 different areas for where you can upgrade these skills, instead of just you buy this, you do this mission, and then you could buy this, and then you've got the upgrade, you've got all the upgrades apart from mastery. Which, yeah, fair enough. The mastery one could come with the signature skill. As soon as you get the signature skill, you get the mastery for the thing, which is just upgrade the entire base, which is fair enough for that one. But I would say that the upgradable system for your skills would have been better if they implemented like an upgradable system for like a crafting. So like, you do these missions, you get crafting materials, you do this, you upgrade this, it takes like a day to upgrade it, and then the next day you can try out these new abilities and stuff like that, especially for the turret where you have like shock abilities, which you could do like a side mission or like a main mission where the actual boss is actually using these weapons instead, and then you get a part from them instead, which would have been better if they implemented something like that, I would say. But that's enough of those ones. That's just a little bit of like an insight on the base and how it should have probably been done a little bit better. But if we go on to the crafting menus, the crafting system it's good, but it's not quite Warframe, really. Warframe kind of did the crafting system quite well, especially with the blueprints itself, where I said before, where you upgrade this place and then you could buy the blueprints, or you could make the blueprints, which to make the blueprints gave you different weapons and better weapons, actually, but they took longer to get. But then you could buy easier blueprints, but then you still had to make the actual weapons with the full amount and stuff like that. But if you researched the blueprints, you had it for less, which is a clever way of doing that, I would say, because you could take time doing it, or you could buy it instantly, which is a fair enough. But as well, where like the crafting system works out on the Division itself, it's pretty easy to get all these materials. Like you could grind out getting all the tech materials, the weapon parts, the fabrics. You can get it from your base of operations quite easy as long as you get the upgrades. But like throughout the world, there could be like a little track that you could just follow and just do that, or you go around the entire world and you get all those. The Division tech type things from the Dark Zone is a fair enough. Those are okay. If they implemented that and then they added in rarer materials from like defeating bosses, like it forces you to go out and grind out the missions a little bit more, where it gives you rarer materials, it gives you weapon parts, it gives you stuff like this to make you build these weapons and build higher versions or more powerful versions of these weapons, would make it so much better. And then like you have an upgradable version of it where you can have like an extra mod slot or an extra, I don't know, piece of something like that, would make it a little bit, I think, a little bit more personal, and then a little bit more time consuming for the game itself, which at this point myself, I would rather just go and just do the dailies. It's turned into a Destiny at the moment because the endgame content's not really there, but I would just do the daily missions, which I think if they implemented the rare materials, the daily missions could drop like 2 of them instead, but you would still have to do it at level 30. Like some blueprints would be available from different levels, and then the best blueprints would be available as soon as you hit like level 30, or you get the full upgrade for a wing or something like that, where it gives you more stats towards those skills or those abilities or something like that, where it like increases your duration for like your turret, or your ballistic shield damage is increased and stuff like that. It would make it a little bit better for those type of things, especially if you upgrade the entire wing that you're like working towards doing. Then it would give you a higher chance of getting a random perk towards that wing, I would say. Especially for that one, that would work a little bit better, because that means you'll be able to get a lot of stuff, and then the recalibration, I would stick with that as well, because I was a good option for that one, where you could just re-roll a stat, and you just re-roll that stat as long as you like. As long as it's a stat that you want to re-roll, then it's pretty good. But for the research functions, I said it before as well, for the blueprints, it would work in the fact that you would go out, do a mission, you would get materials for this research facility, then you would research that, and then it would unlock blueprint things, and then over that time, more blueprints come like of age and stuff like that, and then the more missions you do, the more kind of blueprint type things you get from them. Like they drop from bosses, or they drop random, or there's little chests around the world, which would work as well, especially in the Dark Zone, where you go to the Dark Zone, there's the level 30 chests, and then there's like key Dark Zone facilities which would be upgraded as well, where you can get Dark Zone blueprints as well, which would be quite clever to do that one, I would say. Where you could just use your division tech and put that into it, and at the same time you could use like Phoenix credits and put that into your wings or your researches to make it the blueprints are easier to get, and then you have a higher chance of getting the better stuff, which I would say would be a little bit more of like an implemented thing for that kind of stuff. It's a little bit more, I don't know, it's a little bit more complex towards that. It's more like a Warframe, which Warframe was quite easily to understand. But if it was more like a Destiny, I don't think it would work, because the Destiny system is just RNG pretty much, and then you have the upgrade system for your guns, which is random at the same time, and then you could have anything. But then they added in the system for where you could re-roll your perks on your guns, which is okay, but that means it re-rolls the entire gun itself. So you could change the elemental thing of it, and then you could change every single perk on it, which you don't really want. You would rather just change one perk on it, and then that's it. And then if you want to change the elemental version of it, you can change the elemental version of it, and then you have something different. Which is where Destiny kind of did wrong and kind of did right, but it's opinionated, really. That's all it is. It's kind of opinionated. But the rare material drops is the last thing in the crafting system, and then we'll go on to the end game content. So the rare material drops, I've said before as well, they would kind of drop from the Dark Zone as well as level 30 bosses. I would say that rare material drops would drop more from the dailies and the challenging modes. They would drop from like elite enemies and then named elite enemies more, instead of just random enemies, where you could just get kind of like small type of things, and you might get a lucky drop from just like purple enemies maybe, with just normal shields instead of just a red one. The red ones won't drop anything. Purple enemies, they have a chance of dropping some, like maybe like blues, maybe like a high chance of dropping a purple blueprint of everything. And then the yellow ones, the named ones, they get more of a chance of dropping a purple, and then the named ones get more of a chance of dropping high-end blueprints. But then the high-end blueprints would cost a lot more to get. Let's just say that one. Blueprints for the high-end ones would take a lot more and a lot longer to make, which would entice you to play the game a little bit more, would entice you to free roam a little bit more, because if you look at my map right now, we're going to go into the end game stuff, but if I just put up a picture of my actual map right now, it looks barren. But the only reason why my map looks completely barren is because I've done everything in the game. Like, I've done every single encounter, I've done every single mission, I've done every single side mission. But if they added in more level 30 activities, like as soon as you hit level 30, it unlocks these random encounters, random side missions every single week. It would entice you to free roam a little bit more, instead of just, oh yeah, I'll do this mission, I'll just fast travel there, and that's done. But instead, you could get different areas to unlock, maybe like underground missions, more underground activities, because they only had like the water pump one, and then there was a couple of them where there was like a side mission where you just go underground and just find a book or something like that. I don't know, but it would, if they added in random encounters to just show up eventually over the map and over the course of different things, it would entice you to play free roam a little bit more, instead of just going straight into the Dark Zone, or you just teleport to a mission and that's that done for the day, and then you just go on to a different game and you come back the next day just to get your Phoenix credits and do your dailies, and then grind out the Dark Zone a little bit more, and then you go on to a different game, which kind of makes you not play the game a little bit more. And that's what's happened to Destiny, I would say. Like, every single weekly reset for Destiny, people just go onto it just to do the raid, and then they do the daily, and that's it. They go off it, and that's the end for that entire week. They never play that again, unless Xur comes around, and then, if they don't want anything from Xur, they just don't play it for that entire week until next Tuesday, which I don't want the Division to be that. If they added in different encounters, which might give you different blueprints, which might give you different material drops, that would be a little bit better. It would entice you to play it a little bit more. There's like timed activities towards these type of things, like there is for the dailies, the timed activities for the daily works quite well. But if you look at the incursion mission, which unlocks like for the April update, it says that the difficulty is going to be on hard, which is fair enough. But the mission rewards are purples, where if you hit level 30 like me, you kind of don't want the purples anymore. You kind of want the high-end stuff. You kind of want the yellow stuff, which gives you more perks, it gives you more talents, it gives you more abilities, which you kind of want that. You don't really want the purples, because the purples don't do that much anymore. The purples, they're good to have, but if a mission that is like a week in advance, or a month in advance, like every single month we get a new mission, only gives us purple stuff and won't be able to give us like high-end stuff, I don't think it's going to be that good, really. But if they added in like side missions like every single 2 weeks, which should give us blueprints, which could make us give us like high-end stuff and stuff like that to make us upgrade some other stuff, would be a little bit better, I would say. Instead of just giving us a purple thing, which nobody wants, really, apart from just to dismantle it, unless they add in something different, since it says that the gear grade is going to be 150, which I don't know what that means at this point, because there is no such thing as a gear grade. There's armor, there's the gear level, the power level, which most power level that you want now is level 31, but the gear grade, I don't know what that is, so it might be something that's coming in the future, which I don't know yet. If they add on something like a Destiny type thing, where you don't really understand the gear grade type thing, where you get to level 30 and then you go up to level 34 because of attack, and I don't know what else there was in the division at that point, which made no sense at all. Or there's like a light level for your gear instead, which that worked a little bit better, but it kind of got a little bit annoying where your clothes got in the way of it, really. But for armor and weapons, it made more sense. But for some other things as well, there could be special challenges which unlock at level 30 as soon as you get to there. Little challenges where you've got the dailies now, but then you've got the bounties, which there is no bounties, which there should be kind of like a bounty system, because most games now have got it. I wish that Call of Duty had it, just to give you like something else. Especially for like in Black Ops 1, that was just so much fun to do that. It gives you more of like a challenge. It makes you use weapons that you shouldn't really use. It would make you go for stuff that wouldn't make you do that. It would make you, well, in the Division, it would make you free roam the game instead. It would make you, I don't know, use LMGs instead of a shotgun. It would make you use a shotgun instead of a sniper. It would make you kill more enemies. It would make you like go into the dark zone. You could have bounties to go into the dark zone and kill rogue agents, become rogue and survive like a stage 3 or something like that. Since they've added in an update as well, which makes it more rewarding to be a rogue or killing rogues. Since before the update, it would, if you're level 50, it would take off like 150,000 XP, which was stupid, really. And it was the same for your coins as well. It would take off a percentage of your actual level. Instead, now it takes off a percentage of like a fraction of your level, like a little bit of your level, and then like a 10% of whatever level gear that there is in the vendor on the Dark Zone. That's where it takes off now. So it wouldn't be that hard to do these kind of bounties for the Dark Zone itself, like kill 5 level 32s could be like a very hard one. It gives you more Phoenix credits, especially since in a couple of weeks now, the Phoenix credits going to be boosted up a little bit more, especially for the Dark Zone versions, where level 30 enemies only give you 1 to 3, and then level 34s give you, I think it's like 4 to 5, and then level 36 or level 32s give you, I think it's 5 to 7. I think it is. It's something like that. But it's a little bit better where they added in that. Instead of just every single named elite gives you 2 Phoenix credits, which kind of makes it pointless to grind out anything anymore, really. But yeah, that's like kind of all the things that I wanted to talk about in this one. And as well, the question for this week, this is the question itself, is if you guys are actually playing the Division, are you actually enjoying it? And what kind of improvements would you like to see in the Division? Maybe more content, maybe the stuff that I've gone over where you can add in like clan support, or a different crafting system, or a different menu system, or a different upgradable system. And as well, if you're not playing the Division, why aren't you playing the Division? Is there a reason why, or is it not like your type of game? Are you not like a loot kind of system? Are you not a third person kind of person? Say so down below, and I will add it down below as well. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more Gamescast type things, next week it won't be the Division. I will talk about something else, maybe the cross-platform play itself, and how it could work. And maybe in the future I would go over like general discussions, maybe like over YouTube and stuff like that. But I hope you guys enjoy, and if you want to see more, say so down below, and peace out.